That is the 23J of John Painter Jr.
Oh,
so we'll have to remember there's supposed to be a J on that car.
Good to see John Painter Jr. back out here. He had quite a run last year through the alphabet soup.
Oh, we're getting a little bit of action there at 3 and 4.
Yeah, I think this fluff and buff is really what the place needed. It's starting to get really racy throughout. You can watch them through 1 and 2 as we have been. Good pack going right now, as you can see. Painter Jr. goes to the low side of the 44V. Darren Bolak making some quick time once he got around him. He is putting a lot of car length between himself and that 44V. Again, it's just a practice session. Nobody out here truly giving it 100% right now. Just trying to get things shaken down for tomorrow night.
While things have cooled down, we're going to get a legend on the microphone. A gentleman that has been gracing announcers' booths for... Tom, did you say you announced for about 40-some years? About 46 years. Tom Grosso joining us up in the announcers' booth. Yeah. Kurt's upset. He was looking for a couple more points nights. Yeah.
Area, Noel and his 2 sons, and we got Stan Caesar over there as well. It should be a really, really neat deal. So we invite everybody after these qualifiers are over with, come on over there, meet and greet, have something good to drink, something cool and something to eat, and we're going to be over there. So it's a very, very cool deal. It's the first time that Roger and Racine decided to try something like this, so maybe it'll be a tradition from here on out.
Yeah, definitely. We encourage everybody to come over there and check it out, because if there's a bunch of people over there hanging out, telling stories, meeting and greeting, getting autographs, we're going to do it year after year and be able to build this up to something really huge. So
all the cars over there tonight will be faster than they were 10, 15 years ago. So be sure and come over for that. It'll be a neat deal. You're going to see a lot of folks that really made their history here. Sunset Speedway, Midwest Speedway. A lot of these tracks, you know, in this area.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of them over there tonight, so stop over there and check it out.
I can't wait to go see it. I'm excited to see Stan. He came up the announcer's booth a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
I haven't got to see Joe and Bob Kaziski in months, so I'm excited to see them. We're going to go green on another practice session. Cole Vanderheiden along with Danny Nicolite, Alex Davenport, Kevin Rutherford,
Brandon Horton's also out there in the 1B.
Also the 71 of Colby Estes going into turn number 1. .24G of Chris Graff going down the backstretch, and I think we got them all. Trouble for Alex Davenport. Watch out, Joe.
Joe Horse been having it in for him these last couple of weeks.
I know. We might, you know, we've got our flip count going on. Can we get a watch out Joe count going?
Hang on. We'll put that down as pucker count.
You know, we might have to donate that bottle at Gibson's Finest.
That's a quality bottle.
Don't want to drink it. And just got word from our friends at Advantage Racing TV that we are live on social media.
Oh, hi, Mom.
So welcome everybody to practice night for the IMCA Race Saver Nationals at America's home track, Eagle Raceway. It's going to be a big couple of days as we're getting set for competition to crown our 11th annual Race Saver Nationals champion. Over 112 pre-registered cars for this weekend's competition. We're going to get a solid count of how many cars tomorrow night we kick things off, but tonight is all about the practice, and James, we've been talking about a couple of guys kind of feeling the track out. A lot of guys that are out here for this session, Brandon Horton, Cole Vanderheiden, Danny Nicolaites, they get to see this track on a weekly basis, but guys like Claude Estes, Chris Graff, they're out here for the first time this year, and this is an incredibly dynamic track for a couple of reasons. The high banking really adds a lot of difficulty to it, but I think one of the unknown factors that a lot of people may have missed out on is the way the sun sets here. Turns 1 and 2 tend to dry out a little bit more, as to where 3 and 4 hold their moisture, because 3 and 4 usually get a pretty good shade about, 4 or 5 o'clock, and so that moisture sticks into that side of the track a little bit better.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You can even see it on the Advantage Racing TV camera shots, as great example right here. You can see him pushing that car through 3 and 4. You see just how dark that is. This is a very dark dirt here at Eagle Raceway, but you can see over in 1 and 2, just like Dan was talking about, how much lighter that is just from the sun baking down on it. And what you guys missed was a little bit of a track prep session. We just went through and reworked 3 and 4. Now you've got multiple lanes throughout both sides of the racetrack. As the sun goes down, things really kind of start to equalize. But we were talking earlier about your heat races, how you need to be on your A game if you want to try and move on, because only the heat race winners go on to your preliminary night A mains.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit for people who may be tuning in for the first time to the Race Saver Nationals. I really like the format for this. We talked about it earlier tonight. I am not a fan of qualifying, whether it be single car or multi-car. I'm just not a fan of qualifying, and I'm not a fan of a format that builds points and bases off the system. Eagles Race Saver Nationals format is really, really simple. Pill draw, get your pill number, and then you're ranked in starting position there for your heat race. But it makes it easier for us, because if you win your heat race, and we're not talking the Race of Champions, which is coming up later tonight, we're talking tomorrow night for Friday. If you win your heat race, you're in the A feature for that night. If you finish second, you're in the B. Third, you're in the C. Fourth, you're in the D, and it just keeps on going back from there. You got a long ways to go if you have a bad heat race.
Yeah, and a short time to get there.
Tom Grosso joining us up in the announcer's booth. Once again, Tom talking about an event he's got going on later tonight. If you're on Facebook and you're able to get out to Eagle Raceway after the races are over with, the Race Jugs Race of Champions is over with, you can come into the pits and meet and greet with a lot of big-name legendary drivers and teams. A lot of big names in the dirt racing in the Midwest. And there is a shuttle service available thanks to Dover Racing. And there's one more that I missed, but 2 teams are offering a shuttle service from the pit gate to the Melon Bar, so that if you're not able to walk that far, you're going to get taken care of.
All right, I like the sound of that. I forgot that we had started the shuttle service back up this year. I've always had a shuttle service on my ATV.
Yeah.
You know how many people a four-wheeler hauls, right? Me and 2 females.
Oh no, we got a tire off. Holy cow! A wheel just went flying into the woods in turns 3 and 4. And I think that might be off the 69 of Mike Moore, yeah.
Looks like it. Tough break for Mike in the 69 machine. He's another one of the perennial runners here at the Race Saver Sprint Car Nationals.
Man, I just looked up and saw that tire about 50, 60 feet in the air. It easily cleared the catch fence. Holy cow, we're getting a who's who in the announcers booth tonight.
Old legends never die. They just lose weight.
Yeah, looking good. Derek Krall joining us. Derek Krall was a weekly competitor last year at Eagle Raceway and picked up his, I believe, your first ever feature win, right? You want to grab Kurt's microphone and talk with us? We're also on Facebook Live, so you got to be polite. Jeff, Mark Zuckerberg will shut us down if you say mean things. Okay. There you go.
Sounds good.
Hold that up nice and close to your mouth.
Will do.
How you been, man? You moved away from the area, working your butt off?
Yeah, I moved to Phoenix, Arizona. They have Taiwanese or building a chip plant in America. So,
Man, I just listened to a podcast about the chip market, the superconductor, super chip market, the microchip market, and
Fritos are my favorite.
and how Taiwan. The reason why it's so important to China is because 50% of the chip manufacturing in the world is done in Taiwan. And if they ever decide to shut us off, we don't get TV cameras like this. We don't get Facebook. It's nothing. And so the United States is working hard to try to get caught back up again. So you're down there helping that out.
yeah, so I do all the welding engineering there and the quality assurance, making sure everything's built right. But I figured I'd come back here and see what my home track's like.
Yeah, it's great to have you, Derek Krall, joining us. Man, I missed you out there this year. Did you miss being in there behind the wheel of a car, or are you just so busy that you're not even really thinking about it?
No, it's been on my mind a lot, and I talked to a couple of people, and I think we're going to come back next year.
Awesome. Are you moving back up to the area, or just going to come up a couple of times?
So we're just going to fly back and race every weekend, and I'll go back to work tonight in Arizona.
That is truly the American dream, as you're helping to bring back American jobs.
Yeah. Because the engines are so loud, he can't really hear us. We got our headphones on, but anyways, we're doing the pre-race show on Eagle on Facebook, so you should be able to hear us now, Derek. He said you're doing the American dream while building America back.
Yeah, I think it's a great thing to have all of this in the United States, bringing all the work back to American workers instead of giving it to somebody else. It's great, but I really miss being back home in Nebraska. I miss the race, and I really miss the sprint cars. So.
Well, it's great to have you back, and you got a couple of days of big racing. I imagine you're going to be here all weekend.
Yep, we're going to be here all weekend. I fly back out on Labor Day, so we're going to get to watch the whole thing.
Is the missus here with you? She keeping you in line?
Oh yeah, she makes this world go round. So she came back 3 weeks earlier because our dog, he had to get fixed, get all the shots. So she came back. But she's gonna drive back on Monday once she drops me off at the airport.
Awesome deal, man. All right, we're gonna get back to our pre-race show. Thanks a lot for joining us. Always good to have these guys come back in the studio with us. Or in the booth.
Absolutely, especially such a surprise guest, a guy that moved away to go and further his life and career, and, it just goes to show that they come from all walks of life, from distances near and far to be at the IMCA Race Saver Sprint Car Nationals.
Amen.
It's really good to hang around you guys.
It's good to see you too, bud. Practice session involving the 21 of Ryan Kitchen.
Hey, he finally got a wing on that thing, or a wrap on that wing.
Yeah, he's got that might be a new wing. We'll have to wait and see. I believe the 17 of Justin Bolte. If that's the 17 of Justin, then he got that car fixed up pretty quick after his accident. Dusty Ballinger in the 2D, also out there. We're seeing the 76 of Jay Russell. And our support class for tomorrow night, Valentino's Hobby Stocks. Jared Jackson getting his 98 back out there. Is he missing his hood?
Yeah, certainly is.
They're still doing some tweaking on that car, right?
Yeah, they've been off for the last couple of weeks. He had some trouble in a couple of cylinders. Something was sticking. I think a lifter was sticking open, so they'd been kind of thrashing on it this week to try and make sure that everything is in order. Came out for a hot lap session earlier tonight. It wasn't working quite right for him, so clearly they went back there and redone it, and this time they said, forget it, we'll just leave the hood off just in case we got to work on it again.
No sense in just save yourself a little bit of time instead of taking that thing apart every time.
Yeah.
And that's what tonight's all about, not just for Jared and the Hobby Stocks or Bryce Walker and the Sport Mods is here, but all the Race Saver Sprint Car guys shaking their cars down and getting a feel for this racetrack. Tonight's going to be a great preview, although tonight we're going to see a little bit cooler temperatures, so there's going to be a little bit more moisture locked into the track. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday gets progressively hotter. I believe Sunday we're looking at about 95 or 97 for a high. But starting a little bit later, the sun will be setting down, and hopefully we'll have a little bit of a breeze to cool us off. But a lot of guys just kind of getting the feel for Eagle Raceway one more time before we start competition tomorrow night. And, you know, we were in the middle of talking about the format for the Race Saver Nationals when Derek came and joined us, but I wanted to kind of continue talking about that. So it's really important to perform all weekend long. And a lot of these guys, you know, we're going to qualify 9 drivers on Friday night for Sunday night's A feature. And for those of you who have never seen the Race Saver Nationals, we start 3 wide. So Friday night, we are going to take the top 9 finishers in the A feature are going to be our first 3 starting rows. Positions 1 through 9 are going to be pre-qualified for Saturday or for Sunday night's A feature. Everybody else, 10th on back in the A feature, and everybody who didn't qualify into the A feature, they're going to have to do it all over again. The good news is, if you had a bad pill draw on for Friday, and you've got a bad starting position on Friday, the pill draws reverse on Saturday. So if you started in the back of your heat race on Friday, you're going to start in the front of your heat race on Saturday. And only those 9 drivers that already qualified are not going to be the ones out there on Saturday night. But we do it all over again. And again, I'm kind of going on about this format, but I really like that because, you know, you watch a guy like Cole Wayman, and for me, being slightly selfish, I'm saying I don't want Cole to win to qualify on Friday because I want to come back and watch him race again on Saturday. I'm okay with him qualifying on Saturday, take the pressure off on Sunday a little bit more. But you get to see these drivers multiple times all weekend long. It's not like another place where half the field qualifies one night, half the field qualifies the other night, and if your schedule doesn't match up with your favorite driver, you're just SOL.
Well, you know why they do that, right? Split up the nights? Because they take so long to run their program through, there's no way they could run all of them in the same night. Fortunately, we don't have that problem.
We don't. We're doing a little bit of track prep session. Roger Hayden just not happy with the way that cushion is only is building through half the track. So he's got the grader out, and he is cutting that baby up. We're going to do a big rebuff of this because we want guys to have a nice wide racing surface to be able to get a feel for Eagle Raceway tonight on practice night.
Absolutely.
By the way, thank you, Kurt. He purchased tickets to go see those 2 bands down at Sir Concert Cove in Omaha, actually in Council Bluffs tonight, and didn't realize it was the same weekend of the Race Saver Nationals when he bought the tickets. So those are 2 great bands that I'd have loved to have gone and drank some beer with you. I'm sure that I wouldn't have got the offer to go with you because you got a smoking hot wife. And
she actually didn't think about it either.
oh, jeez. Oh, yeah.
GNO.
Go.
Oh, girls' night out.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, hey, speaking of Nebraska, Kurt, you don't have to cover your ears. You already know this. The score is still currently the same. Minnesota 3, Nebraska 0. Maybe.
Oh, they are. Tony, our guy at Advantage Racing TV, says Nebraska's driving.
Well, I hope they drive better than the drivers around here. On the highway. I'm talking about on the highway
yeah,
driving.
Not at Eagle. Oh, is there a trooper salute? It's a trooper salute. Okay, so there's a trooper salute going on to our friends in Alvo. Yeah. And by the way, one of the great sheriffs for, I believe, Douglas County pulled me over this morning.
You got pulled over again this morning?
Yep. Oh. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was doing 10 over. 75 and a 65, and I didn't get ticketed. But he pulled up to the passenger window, and he goes, you know what? I pulled you over a couple months ago, didn't I? And I go, yeah. I said, can we have a repeat performance and I get a warning again? He was nice enough to let me off.
I'm just going to knock on wood and brag up my decent driving.
Yeah. Pretty high, I guess. Let's get back to our pre-race show with our Race Saver Nationals. Again, tonight we have our Race Jugs Race of Champions. The qualifying heat races are going to be tonight. 1,000 to win and 200 to start for our A feature on Saturday night of our Race Jugs Race of Champions. This is going to be a really cool event. All the to qualify for the big dance, for the Race Saver Nationals, for the Race Jugs Race of Champions. I believe previous winners and previous qualifiers for the Race Saver Nationals for the A features over the last couple of years. But it's going to be the who's who of drivers competing in the Race of Champions later on tonight. And then after the races are over with, we've got the meet and greet featuring Craig Kelly, Joe Kaziski, Bob Kaziski, Leon Zeitner, the Chads. Roger Hayden is rumored to be joining us, Dave Chase, Craig Kelly of the Sunset Speedway fame, and also Stan Caesar, announcer out here at Eagle Raceway for a very, very, very long time.
You know, if it wasn't for Mike Chad, I may not be the person that I am today.
Oh, so he's to blame?
Well, that was the first sprint car I ever sat in.
Cool.
That was the first Budweiser car I ever really enjoyed.
First race sprint car I ever sat in was a micro sprint car, and it was my uncle's. And the first thing he said was, be really careful sitting in there because that motor is really hot.
Oh, so of course, what did you do?
I grabbed the motor, or the muffler.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dude, that got a groan from the crowd.
Yeah.
They know that feeling.
Burnt the bejesus out of my arm.
I think it's funny your girlfriend popped the door open just to laugh at you.
She knows. Tomorrow night, we're going to be back in action. We're going to kick off competition once again. It's all about the qualifying features. Guys trying to figure out tonight how what their cars are going to feel like and what they've got. They're going to be working on it tonight and into tomorrow. And then tomorrow night, starting at 6 o'clock, we're going to drop the green flag on our first heat race for the IMCA Race Saver Nationals. Once again, win your heat race, qualify up front for the A feature, and then stay in the top 9, and you are going to be locked in for Sunday. I don't know how many guys we have talked to over the years that have said, thank God we qualified, because Saturday gets to be a complete rest day. Really lets the crew kind of relax a little bit, take in the environment, take in the experience, lets the driver, pulls the pressure off of them for at least a day, and then it's gangbusters on Sunday.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I can't tell you how many of these guys you go up and talk to at the beginning of the weekend, and you say, hey, are we going to party tonight? And they say, yeah, if we make it into Sunday.
Right. And then you've got your guys that maybe just miss out or have a bad heat race and don't even come close. And the pressure begins to ratchet up because now they got to do it all over again on Saturday. And if Saturday doesn't happen, now the pressure is big time because they've made all this effort to get out to the Race Saver Nationals, all that fuel to get up here all season long, working hard in the garage, in the shop, and at the racetracks, at their respective home tracks. And they got to get qualified for this 27-car starting field for Sunday's Race Saver Nationals.
So, one of the good things that Roger has set up here, Frank, I think, had this in mind when he started his class, is the pay is not all going to the winner.
Yeah.
There is good tow money, there are contingency prizes, non-qualifiers fund is continuously being well-funded by Roger and Racine and other great people that donate to it. I think that's one of the reasons that the Race Savers are growing so fast.
Yeah.
Because it's not necessarily a $30,000 payday. It's when they get so many cars, they get 100+ cars.
Yeah.
It's because we're going to come up here and we know that we're going to get 40 gallons worth of ethanol in our tank.
Yep.
We're going to get contingency prizes. We're going to get tow money.
Thanks to Lighting Motorsports for donating 40 gallons of every driver that passed pre-tech inspection on Wednesday and Thursday. As soon as you left the building, you went over to the tent right behind the Twin Rivers banner, the big tent back there, and you got your 40 gallons. And that's a $160 value that means a lot to these guys.
So you've got 40 gallons of fuel, contingency prizes, and every non-qualifier will leave with no less than $700.
I did see that. I was trying to remember that number. Thanks to the non-qualifiers fund, which has been supported by Eagle Raceway all year long with our buy the balloons and throw with the race officials, all the different events that we do, the fun stuff that we do. We put all that money that we raise into the non-qualifiers fund, and that's huge. I've heard a lot of drivers talk about this because there's races out there that are, it's exciting to say we pay $30,000 to win. Then you look at second place and it's like $10,000.
Yeah, I saw a thing on Facebook where they compared another track down the way that ran the same cubic inch displacement engine here a month or so ago.
Oh, it's a different series, but they run the same rules.
The tow money, the contingencies, the non-qualifiers pays out so much better here because it is a race saver event. And I think that $700 just to come here, and if you really have crappy luck, you're going to get $1,500 from the tow crew for the frequent flyer award.
Absolutely.
And you know of any tow crews that are doing that much money.
That's definitely something unique. You don't see a lot of awards like that. Unfortunately, it's kind of like a hard luck award. It's one of those things that you don't want to win, but when you do, it really helps your situation.
I will aim to make sure I'm home by 11. I got a couple errands to run in the morning.
I just want to point out that I think the Eagles Nest is open tonight. I'm pretty sure that they have the Race Saver National, the 2023 Race Saver National T-shirts for sale over there. I know that Joe Orth probably still has all of his books of photos from the year, from the carts to the big cars. They're $3 a piece if you want one. Go ahead and run it. Haley, where'd she go? Haley
Probably
won.
to the Eagles Nest.
Haley won. Haley Gannon. Did you go get all your pictures from the kart racing season? You did? Okay, good. By the way, you're Haley number 1. Yes, and Haley Mosick is number 2. Okay.
So once again, all of you joining us on Facebook Live, we are doing a little bit of a pre-race show, getting ready for the Race Saver Nationals, the 11th annual Race Saver Nationals. Over 112 cars checked in. Make sure you guys purchase if you're out of state or not able to get to the races this weekend. Of course, we want to see you at Eagle Raceway. We want to see you at America's Home Track. But if you're not able to make it, big thanks to our friends at Advantage Racing TV. They are busting their butt this weekend. And you can get all of the action every lap at eagleraceway.tv. And you can even go back and watch last year's Race Saver Nationals at eagleraceway.tv. Cars coming back out onto the racetrack for another set of practice laps. We're going to be doing practice, looks like I wonder, Kurt, if you wouldn't mind going and checking with the officials to see if maybe we're going to push that, sorry, I had somebody in my ear that I'm now bleeding. But if we can find out if we're still going to stop our practice at 8:45 or if we're going to push that back a little bit. Because we've taken a little bit extra time to do, thank you. We've taken a little bit extra time to kind of buff the track and try to push that groove out a little bit.
I'll jump on the radio and see if Roger will answer me.
Thank you. All right, first car out for this set of practice laps, Alex Salzman out of Lincoln, Nebraska. Out for another session, San Antonio's Michael Oliver in the 1-0. And you got the 0-5 of Brandon Allen out of St. Peters, Minnesota. the 88R, Ryder LaPlante. Trevor Service in the 10. Trevor out of Olivia, Minnesota. Matt Johnson out of St. Peters, Minnesota, crossing the finish line. Heading into turn number 1. Zach Blurton out of Quinter, Kansas in the 2J. And Ethan Barrow out of Bloomington, Indiana. He's heading into turn number 1 in the 14S. And the final car out of South Bend, Nebraska, the 25G Top Gun, Gunnar Pike. Oh, looks like we got another one. World famous Toby Chapman out of Panama, Nebraska. Anybody that's never heard Toby Chapman give an interview, just hope that PJ Pedersen catches up with him, because Toby gives some of the best interviews.
I'm hoping those guys take advantage of what Roger just did over in 3 and 4 and try to get up high and maybe catch a little more momentum coming out of that number 4 corner.
Yeah. Well, it looks like by the position of the 4 corners fire and safety guy that they're having him kind of pack low early. You got the four-wheeler sitting down there in turn 3. He's kind of keeping everybody pressed down a little bit.
Well, I know they ran the trucks and stuff during the intermission there to pack high, and we'll see how that corner comes in. It's going to be a great racing surface for the heat races, the qualifiers. I don't know, what do we got, Dan? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5 of
Five
them.
qualifiers.
Yeah, we're going to see guys like Corby Sherb, Danny Nicolai, Ken Druk Jr., Trevor Service, Tyler Drucke, Michael Oliver, who's out here in this one, Mike Hausman Jr. It's going to be a great qualifying heat for the Race of Champions. Once again, thanks everybody for joining us on Facebook Live for our pre-race show. It's going to be a big couple of days. Everybody's getting geared up tonight for the IMCA Race Saver Nationals. Definitely seeing a lot more speed out of these guys, James. A little bit of a slip of the grip there in turn 1 to the 1-0 of Michael Oliver. Looks like as the sun sets, and the track surface has begun to get reworked a little bit, these guys are finding a lot more speed in their car. Seeing low 13-second lap times. Got a 13.3 out of one car, 13.2 out of another. Another practice session coming out. Going to see Jeremy Hewish in the 88J. He's out for another session. Oh, man. James, are you seeing this car second in line right below the LincolnStars.com banner? That is Adam Golian in the 91 in a throwback scheme to his father-in-law's car. So that's a special paint scheme they've done this week. His wife, Andrea, her dad.
Originally a Brenning.
Her dad, unfortunately, I never got to watch him race because I'm pretty new to dirt racing around this area. But
oh, that is sick.
Beautiful car. I love the number on it, too. Absolutely awesome. So that's Adam Golian heading into turn number 1. Brandon Horton in the 1B crossing the finish line, heading into turn number 1 now. Ken Duke back out there for another practice lap session in the 67. Talking about Brandon Allen in the 05. He heads up into the pits. He was a part of the last session. For Jacob Jamola out of Guys Mills, Pennsylvania. Got Andrew Sullivan on the high side in the 91A. And then Adam Golian underneath him in the 91 straight. First appearance of the X car.
That's going to be piloted this weekend by Dylan Waxdahl out of Hartford, South Dakota. Eagle chassis with a Richards Machine Racing engine, sponsored by Rudy's Towing and Auto Body, Hurt Alignment and Service, and Premier Contracting.
Coming out of turn number 2, he's back out for another hot lap session. Just down the road in Eagle, Nebraska, your 2023 Eagle Raceway track champion and current national points champion, the 12 of Tyler Drucke. James, I really got to feel like us with being local guys and watching Tyler race all year long. Really feels like that 12 team is hitting on all cylinders now. They stumbled a little bit in the beginning of the season, but they've really found a lot of speed. I think he's probably my favorite for Sunday night.
He's had a couple of weekends where he's ran 3 different racetracks and picked up 3 different wins, and you're absolutely right. That team did start off awfully slow according to their plans for 2023.
Clint Benson up into the wall, turn 2.
Good save. Lucky to keep that one on all 4s.
Car over.
And now we're going to go red.
67, a Ken Druke goes around.
That'll bring the flip count for the weekend up to 2.
3.
3.
Oh, no, 1. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, I was going to say, Benson
flip.
did not.
He kept them on all 4s, but Clint Benson, the last Nebraska native to win a IMCA Race Saver national title. Tyler Drucke trying to bring that title back to Nebraska.
This year's flip count brought to you by the Front Stretch Podcast.
Thank you.
Auto Connection Tow Crew and Four Corners Fire and Safety quickly on scene. Since we're Facebook Live, we've shouted them out earlier, but we should definitely show a little bit of love to the Auto Connection Tow Crew.
Yeah.
Not only is it their 30th and final year hooking and booking here at Eagle Raceway, but those guys, just words can't describe how much they truly do. Not only are they sponsors of the Auto Connection Tow Crew Frequent Flyer Award, but I mean, those guys have helped move campers, gotten people unstuck on rainout nights. Good news, Ken is up and out of the car. Yeah,
James, I don't know, I'm sure plenty of fans have sat at a racetrack and thought, what are they doing? Why is this caution taking so much time? We might say that once a year at Eagle. When what we had 2 weeks ago, where we had a couple of sport mods who were just interlocked after an accident, and it took the guys a little while to get unhooked and get them hauled away. But we really do take for granted how great the Auto Connection Tow Crew has been to Eagle Raceway over the years. And I always get a little bit of a kick out of when there's an accident over in 3 and 4, and then you watch the guy in orange from turn 1 book it all the way through the infield, and he's the 3rd person on the scene.
Yeah, not only can they tow, they can also run. And you kind of touched on it with talking about just how good we have it here at Eagle Raceway. There's a driver here this weekend, races Race Savers, races 360s around the area. And this guy does quite a bit of traveling. And every time I run into his wife in the pits and I say, hey, you got to go to such and such, this and that over the last weekend. And I'm like, what'd you think of that place? And she's like, it made me miss what we have at Eagle, because it truly is something special. Not only is Eagle Raceway a world-class facility with, like we keep talking about, I mean, there is no BS in our voice when we say that the Auto Connection Tow Crew and the Four Corners Fire and Safety Team are the best in the business. You can go anywhere down the road, and you're not going to see the effectiveness and efficiency that you have here at Eagle Raceway.
Yeah, and we're not going to stop tooting our own horn about how great of a team we have, because I think that from the top with Roger and Racine, it trickles down to making sure everything is buttoned up and we're the best at what we do. Although sometimes this weekend the announcer crew may not be the best at what they do, but
we're going to be this weekend, I guarantee you.
We're going to try our best, and we're going to have a good time doing it. And all of our great fans, by the way, it continued to talk about Tyler. Looking at the points for IMCA national points, the two contenders are here, Tyler Drucke and Trevor Service. Tyler Drucke was 785 points. Trevor Service was 764 points. So it is a very, very close battle. Tyler locked up the track championship 2 weeks ago at Eagles, so it was official last weekend. He's got those bonus points for the track championship. That goes a long ways. I think he said in order to win it, he's got to win 2 out of the next 5 races for points that he races at. In order for Trevor to win it, Trevor's got to win 3 out of the next 4. Now, it could be a little bit off on those numbers, but Tyler's got a little bit of an advantage. But winning an IMCA Race Saver race is very, very difficult to do.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that's something that kind of goes unnoticed when it comes to these Race Saver cars is the rule book is so tight. You really have a lot of evenly matched equipment out here, and it's all about the loose nut behind the wheel to really get the job done.
Just a quick note, everybody. You may have seen the tow crew over there looking for something. My boss, Benson's car broke, and they were looking for the part that he lost.
That's another one of those little things that they pay attention to is debris on the racetrack, and they listen to drivers that if they feel like they might have hit something or they see something into a corner, they'll go and check on it. Take the time, make sure everything's all clean and safe. So tough break for Clint Benson. Went out there for his second practice session, ended up damaging the car, but those guys are going to work their butts off tonight and get back out here tomorrow night for another big night, or for a big night of racing. Looks like an absolutely beautiful turn number 1 as we're watching Brandon Horton go through the corner. Great speed shot there in the infield as we watch Tyler Drucke on Advantage Racing TV and on Facebook Live go through the corner. And Tyler Drucke takes the checkered flag. Adam Golian again out there, Brandon Horton, Jake Jamola, Chase Brewer. A lot of great cars out there tonight, and I think we're going to probably do one more practice session before we close it off. Kurt, looks like we got a lot more than just one practice session set up there in the Valco Racing Wheel staging area.
Went over in the booth, and with the extra time for the track prep, I know they said we weren't going to, but as many cars that are up there, I think they're going to have to get through.
But we've seen Roger do it before. He's told drivers, hey, listen, 8:45 is cutoff time. We're done. Push your cars around, go back to the pits. We got other things we need to do tonight.
Yeah, you had the opportunity to come out more than once, maybe 3 times, 4 times, whatever,
Yeah.
depending on your adjustments that you're making. So, hey, I agree, Dan.
This
Could be just time to go and move on with the night.
this late in the night, Dylan Waxdahl was the only one I've seen come out for the first time in that X car.
For 45, gone for 45 minutes. I have not seen Trevor Wilson.
Trevor has not come out to my
good
to my
point.
memory. 5 of Superman Stu Snyder coming out of turn number 4 and crossing the finish line. And you got Landon Thompson heading into turn number 1. I believe go ahead.
Brandon Bosma making his way under the flag stand in the 23. 9 machine of Kevin Rutherford also making his way under the flag stand.
I think A.J. Hopkins coming out of turn number 2 in the 14H. Do you know that guy?
2022 track champion Joey Danley in the 14.
Yep. Jack Hall in the 37 out of Yukon, Oklahoma.
And back to Stu Snyder.
One other car, I think. Let's see. Yeah, that's Colby Stubblefield coming out of turn number 2 in the 2.
Advantage Racing TV, that last lap had a great close-up of the 74 machine through 3 and 4. Excellent camera work from these guys at Advantage Racing TV. You can catch all the action live this weekend for your 2023 Race Saver Nationals on EagleRaceway.tv.
And the caution does come out for the 11F. Which, if memory serves right, I don't think we have an 11F. Nope, that's Austin Fox out of Spencer, Iowa, bringing out the caution. Kurt, did you see what happened there?
No, sorry.
Okay, that's all right.
Honesty is better than imaginary.
You're pushing your own buttons there.
Oh, I see what you did there.
By the way, those traveling, we've got a couple of sound bites. For instance, Kurt, are we about ready to get pushed off? Well, now.
All right, green flag's back out on this hot lap session. Just a couple more laps, a couple more minutes, and we will cut the live feed before we go into our Race Jugs Race of Champions heat races. So if you're watching at home on Facebook or on your socials, make sure you get over to EagleRaceway.tv so you can stay tuned in to the rest of this weekend's action.
By the way, good old Mark Zuckerberg listening over on our conversation. I hit the refresh button on my Facebook page, and Trevor Grossenbacher, 35 Motorsports Facebook page comes up. It says TG has decided to opt out of practice tonight. The Race of Champions and tonight's Race of Champions, watching some practice with Mini TG, watching the track and spending time with family and friends. We'll see everybody tomorrow. So, good, important note that the 35 will be a scratch for tonight's Race of Champions qualifying races.
That's okay. Tate's more popular anyway.
He is.
I was curious to see if Trevor was going to make that happen. He's really starting to come on towards the end of the season on
Yeah.
a regular Saturday night show. Won a couple there towards the end of the year.
Yeah, I think 2 of the last 3 or 4 regular Saturday night races were picked up by TG.
Yeah, he did, like he started on the pole. He came back from in the field. So,
Yeah.
He's found something at the end of the year here, and I talked to him quite a bit in the trailer. He's pretty hungry for a win. I know he was really happy to get his first win and let it through with it to do well.
Oh, he has been so close at the Race Saver Nationals. Several years finishing on the podium, being the highest finishing Nebraska, just waiting for that time to knock off his first win. And do we have a new first-timer? Is the 56 of Bill Johnson out of St. Peters, Minnesota. I don't remember seeing him, but you may.
We did see him in a set just a little while ago.
Okay.
The sun was still out. Connor Thomas back out for another session in the 16.
Mike Moore back out in the 69.
Good deal.
He's about ready to get pushed off.
I wonder if the tow crew went out and found that wheel and tire.
We may have to wait before we get this practice session going. We got one stop in the next one.
Okay. Caleb Martin out of Brownsburg, Indiana in the 11M, right there in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Danny Nicolite, the Doc,
Jeb Sessoms also back out for another hot lap session in the 01J.
I believe that's the 18 of Alex Nalen.
Jordan Roop in the 86. Jordan Boston in the 11. I think they should get a group photo of all the 14s. All right, Caden Murray's going to have the green flag in hand as they come off of turn number 4. I'm going to go ahead and mute my mic and let you Facebook listeners tune in to the sweet sounds of Race Saver engines. I could tell you're there, I just couldn't quite hear you. Checkered flag a-waving on what very well could be our last hot lap session of the night. We've got quite a few wings still over in the Valco Racing Wheels staging area, but we may be getting right down to time for your Race Jugs Race of Champions heat races. Hearing word this will be our last hot lap session before the Race Jugs Race of Champions heat races. Going to be a big set as well. Hey, does anybody want a Nebraska football update? All right, well, I heard a lot of no's and a lot of yeses, and I'm going to go with my target audience, me. It's 7-3, Nebraska. Can I get a go Big Red? That's what I'm talking about. All right, Dan, last session, let's see, a couple of local boys leading the field over into turns 1 and 2. Jake Galusha in the 8 machine. In the 2A, Alex Salzman. Oh, Kurt's getting us with the old hype-up music. Mike Hausman Jr. also making the exit of turn 2.
Kurt, what are you going to play when they blow it? Go Hawkeyes.
Hey,
Channing Tankersley into turn number 1.
Every time I go to punch in a number, you're already halfway through.
Sorry. I got fast fingers.
No, you're all right. That's how you got your girlfriend.
Oh.
All right, Owen Carlson out there in the 07. I forgot she's right next door.
Boy, it sure sounds like, smells like it. Jeez.
Oh, Ryan Kitchen also out there getting in on this last hot lap session. He's in the 21, headed down the back straightaway right now.
I was wearing my Ryan Kitchen shirt the other day, and Sarah noticed that his shirt says Little Man.
Yeah. He is a tiny human.
He's a great guy, though.
He's a tiny human raising tiny humans.
And oh, big smoke. Uh-oh. 25A of Alex Davenport off the track. Is that blow by James?
That looked like possibly a little bit more. Something's definitely off. You can see him. No, that's not who I'm looking at. Down the back straightaway, Dan, we've got one headed into the infield.
Yeah, the 4X. But it's not Jason Danley.
That's not Hausman Jr., is it? I hear we got one around.
I believe that is the 4 of Heath Nestrick out of Cato Mills, Texas. No?
No, that's the blue 4.
Okay. Because I don't have a 4X. I have Jason Danley as the 4X registered.
Yeah, a lot of 4s, a lot of 14s. Oh, good crossover move here with Sullivan. That was a good little battle going down the back straightaway between Sullivan and the 23 car. Checkered flags are waving. Practice sessions have came to a conclusion. Next up, your Race Jugs Race of Champions heat races.
By the way, that is Heath Nestrick, because the picture below his registration is that exact car, and I believe his wing does say Nestrick on it.
All right, I see what you did there.
That's okay.
You and your facts.
Oh, it says Mr. Excitement.
Ah.
Oh, man, you hate seeing that. Absolutely hate seeing that.
See, now that is a blind race announcer friendly number. It is definitely a 4. I could see that from a helicopter.
Well, those of you that have joined us on Facebook Live, big thanks to Advantage Racing TV for supplying that. We're going to be shutting that feed off as the Race Jugs Race of Champions is about to kick off. 5 big heat races are going to set up our A feature for Saturday night's Race of Champions race. So thank you, everybody, on Facebook Live for joining us. If you want to watch the rest of tonight's action, go to eagleraceway.tv. If you want to tune in for tomorrow night's action, Saturday night or Sunday night, you can't get out to the racetrack, just go to eagleraceway.tv. Again, big thanks, everybody on Facebook, for joining us. Have a great night, and hopefully we'll see you out the track. First, Tommy Denton pointed out, if you look over on the backside of turn 1, just above the 9 Lines EMS crew, that is the reddest